Hello and welcome to my video. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare your print files for your prototype cards using Adobe Illustrator and Acrobat. I'm sure there are other methods out there too, but these are the softwares that I'm familiar with, and this is how I did it. Step 1. Ask your printing office or manufacturer for their printing requirements. As far as I know, they will usually ask for 300 dpi, that stands for dots per inch, and usually a 3 cm bleed or 0.125 inches bleed. Also, ask them whether they would like horizontal or vertical orientation for your cards. Step 2. Decide your cards' size parameters. I went with Mini American standard size, which dimensions are 45mm by 67mm. Step 3. Open Adobe Illustrator and create a new file. Depending on your printing office's requirements, pick millimeters or inches. Color mode CMYK color. Raster effects is going to be what your printing office requires. Mine went with high, 300 ppi. Preview mode default. And now about the width and the height. This is the part where it is easy to make a mistake. Now's the time to factor in what your printing office requires as bleed. The calculation goes as follows. Take your desired card size dimensions. Mine was 44 by 67mm, and add the bleed length to both sizes 4 times. I will explain why in a later step where I can demonstrate the reasons visually. So with my example, 4 by 3mm is 12mm, so the Illustrator document I'm going to work with will be 56mm by 79mm. Step 4. Import all of your cards' images into Illustrator by dragging and dropping them from the file manager. Hopefully when you created them in Photoshop, AI, GIMP, whatever, you were paying attention to their size, length, proportions, so when you resize them now in Illustrator, they won't be distorted. For presentation purposes, I imported the front and the back side of a card from my prototype game. Step 5. Resize your images to their desired print size. In my case, 44 by 67mm, then rotate them in order to fit the desired orientation. My printing office asked for vertical orientation, so this is what I went with. This part is important, so pay attention. If you have a backside which is not symmetrical, always rotate the front and back so that they face in opposing directions like this. So after the printing, they will look something like this. Step 6. Align the front image in the middle. You will do the same with the back image later. Step 7. Create a rectangle that has the same size as your card, plus the required bleed size multiplied by 2. So in my case, 44 plus 6, which is 50, and the other side will be 67 plus 6, so 73. So 50mm by 73mm. Then pick the selection tool, right click on the rectangle, then arrange it to the back. Now align it also in the middle. That is going to be your so-called bleed box. If your card's border has a simple one color design, recolor this rectangle by using the eyedropper tool and sample the color from your card's border. In my case, this cheese card has a special rusty border, so I'm using a textured rusty image I created earlier with the above mentioned 50mm by 73mm dimensions. Step 8. Let's create the so-called crop marks. Zoom in on the image, then select the pen tool, Choose one corner of your image, then draw a straight line from it as big as your bleed. Then align this line like this. It has to intersect with your art's corner. When you're ready, copy it and rotate the copy by 90 degrees and align it like this. Make sure it also intersects with your art's corner again. Now drag your bleed box and art a little to the side like this so it's out of the way. Then select these two lines you made and group them. Make 3 copies of it. Then rotate each so they will fit all of the 4 corners. Like this. Now you have your crop marks for your corners. Align them with the Align tool into their corresponding corners. Then rearrange your bleed box and art to the middle where they belong. Step 9. Now you're done with the editing part. It's time to save your Illustrator file as a PDF. Go to File, Save As, and select Adobe PDF. Usually the default settings will be fine, but to make sure everything is okay, match your settings to mine. Step 10. Setting up your PDF file for printing in Adobe Acrobat. Open your PDF file. In the Tools menu, select Use Print Production, then Set Page Boxes. Select your proper unit settings, I go with millimeters. Then at Margin Controls, select Bleed Box, tick Constrain Proportions, and set the bleed size your manufacturer requested, 3 mm in my case. Okay, then select Trim Box and set it to 2 times the bleed, so it's gonna be 6 mm in my example. Here you can check that everything you've done so far is correct. Okay, the sizes are 44 by 67 for me, so everything is perfect. Click OK. Now the printing office will see where they have to cut your card. The green rectangle, and they will see your bleed box, this blue rectangle, and they will also have their crop marks. Now save this file, and now repeat the same process with the back of your card. Step 11. Now let's say you want to print multiple instances of this card and multiple instances for another card of the same type, so they will share the same backside. For example, 10 cheddar cheese and 10 Swiss cheese cards. Okay, I'll first prepare the Swiss cheese cards in Illustrator. In the folder where we created the files, we have to make as many copies of the PDF files that as many cards we want to print. So in my example, 10 cheddars and 10 Swiss. Once you made the 9 copies from the cheeses, select them all. Right click, combine files in Acrobat. Count them so that you have the proper amounts, and when you're done with this, combine them here. Then save the file. Now enter the back folder and make 19 copies of the original file, so you will have 20 in total. Select all and combine them and save the new file. You can delete the copies if you want now. I'd suggest keeping the originals. Step 12. Congrats, you're done. Now your cards are ready to send to the printing office or manufacturer. The printing office where I made my prototypes requested that I should put the fronts with their backs in separate folders, so they will know which type of cards require the same kind of back sides. Alright, this will conclude my video, and thanks for watching. Bye!